It does say press cancel to continue. I don't know what that means. Oh my god! Explode the plate. Where did that come from?
Out of the barrel.
Holy.
Well, why were you holding it in the barrel?
Dude!
We are standing where the HAAS machine used to sit. It's no longer here. HAAS has let me down in more ways than one. If this were a startup company, would have long been bankrupt. I would have long been living on the street. HAAS has not delivered on their promises that they have. You be the judge of it. I'm just going to give you the facts and let you know where it stands. Everybody's wanting an update on the HAAS, so here it is. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, guys, finally available. So thanks to Lisa for the design on this, but we finally have a colored shirt that's not black. So we have a gray Sick the Mag shirt. So that's available, merchandise page, as well as we have a revamped merchandise page. A lot of stuff should be easier to look at. Order your stuff on there and get your gray shirt. So it goes with the orange socks. So, but that's what we got, guys. www.sickthemag.com and click merch and order yourself some merchandise. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we have gone round and round and round with HAAS, with Gerotech, the local technicians, with Jim. Like, everybody's gone round and round, and I don't know enough about this, as I've said many times, to be able to dissect where the problem lies. But I do know that the amount of times that HAAS has been here, Gerotech's been here, Jim's gone back and forth with them, something doesn't add up for a brand new machine that should be fully aligned. It shouldn't have to be leveled to multiple times. We put in the pad that they said we had to put in, over 28 inches thick of concrete to sit it on. But still alignments happen. Don't know. I reached the end of my rope with it, so now there's big changes. So big change is, I got a buddy, Rob Limenstall. They have a shop in Jackson, which is about an hour and a half from here. They got some other CNC machines there. He's got his guy, so I made a deal with Rob, and Rob is going to, the machine's going to be moved out of here. It's going to be taken to Rob's, and they are going to work on finishing the block that's in the machine, as well as get it up for production that we can produce these blocks on a regular basis. Actually, that now Rob will produce on a regular basis. So this is where the HAAS machine used to sit. How did we get to this point? We'll take you through those steps, but this is what failure looks like. You have a dream, you have an idea, it doesn't work, you just move forward. So now we'll take you through all the steps that got us to an empty pad. Talk to you. It's been a while since we had a Tom Talk, but like, there's successes and there's failures, and you need failures to remind you how great successes are. I believe that I am standing with my biggest failure that has ever happened, because the amount of money and time that has been invested into this thing to be at the point that we're at, it's why I don't talk about it much. It's why there's not these update videos, because I don't even want to think about it. I want to put it out the side of my mind. And the amount of money I have to generate through other sources, through my regular company, to just pay the overhead to keep this thing here, it upsets me every time I have to make the payment. But and I guess that brings us to the other part. At one point in time, HAAS suspended all the payments. They said they were going to make sure I was well taken care of. They suspended the payments, it turns out, for 6 months. Those payments started a few months back. And there was no compensation. There was no other items that came up. Quite frankly, communication went away. As soon as I didn't do a video about talking about the machine, then all of a sudden they forget I exist. The payments get reinstated. I'm making payments again for a machine that doesn't work, and hoping that by this going to Rob's shop, that they're going to be able to circumvent the issues with the machine to be able to get parts out of the machine. I can't afford to buy a different machine to be able to make that. So to me, the best case scenario is that now I got a buddy that hopefully they can come up with a way to deal with it so that they can get there. But that's where we're at the HAAS Machine. Hopefully there'll be some kind of updates that Rob's making progress with it after it gets moved out of here and they get it running at their shop. All right, as most of you know and everything when I've talked about the HAAS, we got the HAAS in, it got delivered October of, what was ordered in May of 2020, delivered October of 2020. When going through everything with the HAAS, and they were coming out with this machine, and you never buy the first of anything, but they made it very clear that all they were doing is taking two tried and true machines and they were adding, they were basically putting those two together. So everything was not brand new. This was going to be an easy thing. We waited for the first machine. They were supposedly building 3 of them, and we had one of the first ones that was coming. Took 6 months or so to get it. We got it, like I said, October, November. Found out right before we got it that they were using it as a demo unit at a show to display the unit or show the unit. So it came in, had shavings, it wasn't a new unit, paid for a new unit, supposedly whatever, just working out the kinks with it, no big deal. I didn't really think much of it. I'm like, okay, well, it's just been, working the bugs out, no problem with that. We spent months with it to where trying to make plates, doing different things, and they would come in and realign it. They were here a lot doing things with it, and we're like, it's just not right. The thing does not return. Now, I'm not the technical guy. I'm just giving you an overview type deal from, in the layman's terms of myself understanding. So it goes through all of that stuff and find out, yep, there's something wrong. Nope, there's nothing wrong. They continue to say there's nothing wrong. They come out, they say, nope, everything's good. Well, then finally in, I would say June, so a full 6 months. Now, let me tell you, I bought the thing, I think 20% down, 20% down, no payments for 6 months. The idea being is that in 6 months, we'll get up to where this thing is making money and then it can make its payments. $23,000 a month are the payments on the thing. And it'll get to where it can make its payments by the time the 6 months is up. So we get there, we go round and round, we get to the 6 months, or they're about the 6 month part, they're like, yep, you're right, there is something wrong. So they have to make a patch file for it. Well, first they're making a fan because they're like, oh, one of the parts is overheating, so they're making another fan for it, and that's why it's expanding, contracting, and moving around. So somewhere around that time, is when I made the first video and basically saying, hey, whatever, like here I am, 2 payments in, my 6 months is up, I already paid 20% down, I've made 2 payments for 23 grand, the machine is still not operational, I still can't make anything with this. And then that was July of 21, so July of last year. They say, yep, you're right, you shouldn't be making payments on that. We're going to take care of that, and we're also going to compensate you for the time. And I say that, okay, so you got a $100,000 a year guy that's here to do the programming for the machine and get all that stuff right. You got the payments on the machine, you got the down payment already made, you made the investment in the putting the concrete in for it, and doing everything by the book. Everything that was asked, we did. Then, come July, they admit to the problems. They say, we're going to take care of those. We're going to send somebody out. So a guy from HAAS came out here. He was out here for like 3 days, worked with the machine. They put a patch file, or they didn't have the patch file at the time, or the fan. Don't know. Like there was, I mean, you're talking going on a year now that this was July that all this is happening. And they go through all that. They're supposedly going to still make sure I'm taken care of. So one thing that did happen is they suspended the payments. They said, well, whatever, while it's still getting sorted out and everything, we'll suspend the payments, and then we're going to come back to you with more. Well, the first more was discounts on future equipment. That, hey, we're going to give you X amount of dollars off another HAAS thing or whatever. It's like, I have one HAAS that doesn't work. Like, the last thing I'm going to do is buy another one right now. I want to get this one to work. And I'm the positive guy that, hey, at the end of the day, if this does what we need it to do, that's what matters. But at the same point, I shouldn't be making payments on it during that time. So they suspend the payments, like I said. They come up with an offer, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't do. That's like whatever. That's basically giving me a freaking Band-Aid for a broken arm. I'll just say this stuff continues to go round and round. And it's like, I'm willing to accept anything that we're doing wrong, anything like if my guy can't do the work, if there's some problem along the way, none of that ever happens. From that time in July, I never received any communication with HAAS after that. There was a little bit back and forth on the programs that happened with Jim. Nothing about, this is what we need to take care of you. This is what, we need to take this machine away and we need to bring you this other machine, or anything along those lines. Nothing happened. So I put it on the back burner mentally because I have to do other things to make the money every single month to make the payment on this machine, because come 6 months happened, well, I guess getting a hold of myself, get to the point to where then the payments kick back in again. So it turns out they deferred them for 6 months, that they weren't happening. I thought that until the machine's right, until all this works, not making any payments. Well, 6 months happens, come November. November was supposed to be a payment, but they didn't mail the payment. I don't know, like December ended up being a payment, start up again. So come December, so for 3-4 months now, I've been making the payments again. Well, come March, that's when I had enough. I'm like, hey, this stuff is not, they were out here for a week doing stuff with it. And I contacted my buddy Rob and said, hey, dude, like you have 4 other HAAS machines. Like, I don't know what the issue is, but it seems like we have to have workarounds to make this work. It doesn't work exactly the way it's supposed to work by pressing a button and it does what it's supposed to do. You have to use it like, rather than use it as a true 5-axis, you got to use it like as a 3+2, which whatever, other people understand what that is. I don't completely understand, other than, hey, you do 3 motions with it, don't do 5. And you can do 2 motions with it, or you can do 3 motions with it. Just don't do 5 at the same time. So that would be my layman's term understanding of that. The concept that was sold to us on how we were going to make this block, out the window. So Rob now has the machine. That got picked up end of March or whatever, and taken to his shop. So we'll get you an update over there on things. But all of that stuff was done to do a workaround to try and find a way to make the machine do what we need it to do, rather than use the machine the way we were told that the machine would work. So that part's not right. March 7th, I sent an email to everybody I knew, all the HAAS people, the Gerotech people, saying that, hey, I'm at my wit's end with this. Well, actually, I'll just freaking read. I am beyond wit's end, financially crumbled over this endeavor. Everyone was on board to help us make this machine right, and slowly everyone has disappeared. I never did get anything from HAAS other than suspending my payments for 6 months, which ended in January, back to making 23K payments on a machine that doesn't work, that doesn't do what it was sold to us to do. The machine will be moved on March 15th to a friend's shop in Jackson with the hopes that they can work through the problems to get it working with workarounds, which should not be needed, but we have no other choice. Address of my buddy's shop, where the machine will be located at. Please let me know what else I need to do for this move. So that was on March 7th. I've never heard anything back. Like, nobody's responded to me about that email. No one's contacted me, called, emailed, anything. I continue to make my payments like the good payer that I am, that there's no other machine still like this out there. So is it an inherent problem with the machine is why there's no other ones? Or are people a lot smarter than me and know not to order this? I really don't know, but that is where we are with the HAAS machine. So the question is, why haven't they contacted me? Why have they followed up on anything? Is this the case of the big bully, like just shitting on the little guy? Or is it I'm making my payments like a good boy, and that's all that matters is that I'm making my payments? But either way, we are almost 2 years from the time that I ordered the machine, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, almost 2 years from the time that I ordered the machine. We're a year and, well, I don't even know, we're over a year, October, November, year and a half. Yeah, so I mean, year and a half of having the machine, still have not produced a single part on there. So they do have like a tail support that's coming in for the machine at Rob Shop, that they're going to use it, like I said, the 3+2 way to do the workaround. The way it was sold to us is, hey, this thing will just, you mount this to the trunnion and hey, you're going to be able to work all the way around all sides except one. So basically you can do all the points on that block, you can get it heat treated, you can put it back in, you can finish it up, and it'll do all of that. And definitely not the way the machine's going to be able to be used. But that's the update on the HAAS. You can tell me what an idiot I am for all the things that I've done wrong, the ways in it, but that is literally, I really don't know what else to say. That is the HAAS update in a nutshell on where the stuff is. Paid all the money to get it moved now from here to Rob Shop, paying for them to go through and redesign the stuff in a way that the machine can be used to make it versus the way it was designed originally, which was based on how it was sold to us. So that's it. HAAS, in my opinion, doesn't care. So they've washed their hands of it, and we'll see. So that's what I got for you on the HAAS machine. There's your update. All right, good note. The Sick Week edition is in. So we've got 5 pallets of magazines going to get packaged and shipped out. So hopefully all goes well. Those will ship beginning of next week. So everybody should have them hopefully in the next week or so. If you're not a subscriber, more than likely this issue, like our first issue sold out, 1, 2, more than likely with the amount of subscribers that we've added in the past month or so, this issue will probably sell out as well. So if you're not already a subscriber, definitely get on board if you want to get the Sick Week issue. This has Sick Week and Drag Challenge in it. So sicktomag.com and make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys.